The NFL is a wild league, and as a result of all the crazy things that have happened, there are some mysteries, and one of the biggest is the fact that Frank Gore has somehow played 16 years as a running back. Frank Gore was born in Miami, Florida, and went to, you guessed it, University of Miami. At Miami, Frank did pretty dang well, and in 3 years he had almost 2,000 yards, along with 17 touchdowns. And although he put up solid stats, he was not one of the top recruits, and because of that, he dropped all the way to the 3rd round, and ended up becoming the 65th overall pick to the San Francisco 49ers. Funny enough, that was the same draft that his buddy Alex Smith was selected 1st overall, who is also still in the NFL. But anyway, if you're curious, Frank was the 6th running back selected, and the 5 above him were Ronnie Brown, Cedric Benson, rest in peace, Cadillac Williams, J.J. Arlington, and Eric Sheldon. So it seems like the 49ers got pretty lucky with Frank. Not only is Frank the best of the 6, but by far he is the only one still in the league, as you could probably guess. As a rookie, Frank split carries with Kevin Barlow, who I'm guessing you never heard of, and it makes sense why, as he only ended up playing 6 seasons, with only one over 1,000 yards. While Frank and Kevin both had around the same amount of yards, Gore was able to average 1.5 more yards per carry, and as a result of his performance, he earned the starting spot, and the rest is history. Following an underwhelming rookie season with only around 600 yards and 3 touchdowns, Frank was able to show his true potential in 2006 with the best season of his entire career, as he ran for almost 1,700 yards and had a career best 5.4 yards per carry, as San Francisco improved to a 7-9 record after an extremely disappointing 4-12 record the previous year. With such a great season behind him, Frank made his first Pro Bowl and started his career with a bang. Going into 2007, Frank's goal was to surpass Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record with 2,200 yards. Although Frank had a solid season in 2007, he was only able to rush for over 1,100 yards. Not only did Frank underperform, but so did the 49ers as they went 5-11 that year. 2008 was more the same, as yet again he ran for over 1,000 yards and became the first running back in 49er history to have 3 straight seasons over 1,000 yards, but yet again the team went 7-9. In 2009, Frank was able to continue his success with his 4th straight season over 1,000 yards, as he had just over 1,100 yards rushing and the team improved to an 8-8 record, as Gore ended up making his 2nd Pro Bowl. In 2010, Gore had his first season under 10,000 yards since his rookie season, as he ran for just over 850 yards, mainly due to the fact that he only played 11 games, and as a whole, the 2010 year was just a down year for the 49ers organization, as the team went 6-10. Following underwhelming season after season, 2011 was the year that things began to change, as Frank was able to play some of his best football with over 1,200 yards rushing. Not only was Frank at his best, but along with the new head coach Jim Harbaugh, the team was able to thrive as they went 13-3, and Frank made his first playoff appearance against the Saints. Although the 49ers had not made the playoffs since 2002, the team was prepared and beat New Orleans 35-32, and as a result made the conference championship against the Eli Manning-led New York Giants. The championship was a back-and-forth battle, and although the 49ers looked great, the overtime battle ended in failure as the Giants won 20-17. After one of the best years in the past decade for the 49ers, there was a ton of pressure on San Francisco, and they lived up to it with an 11-4-1 record. And not only did San Francisco have success, but Frank was able to replicate his success in 2011, as once again he had over 1,200 yards, and the 49ers made the playoffs once again. Now that the 49ers had some playoff experience in their belt, they were able to dominate and cruise through Green Bay as they won 45-31 and faced the Falcons in the conference championship. After failing the previous season, the 49ers were able to beat Atlanta 28-24, and Frank made his first Super Bowl against the Ravens. In the battle of the brothers between John and Jim Harbaugh, John came out on top as the Ravens won 34-31 in one of the craziest games of all time. After years and years of disappointment, 2013 was looking good for the 49ers, and a 12-4 record proved that as they made the playoffs for their 3rd straight year. Once again, Frank was able to prove his dominance and had just over 1,100 yards rushing as the team went into their 3rd straight playoffs with high expectations. And against Green Bay, they showed their experience as they beat them once again 23-20 in a back-and-forth battle, and following the win, they dominated Carolina 23-10 to make their 3rd straight conference title game. But this time it was against the Seahawks in the infamous Sherman interview game.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get.
And as you can probably guess, Seattle won 23-17, and the 49er dynasty was over. After 3 phenomenal years for the 49ers, 2014 was the end, And although Frank passed 10,000 yards rushing and then 11,000 yards rushing in the same year, the 1,100 yards rushing was not enough as the team went 8-8, and the down year was the end of Frank's time in San Francisco as he signed a 3-year deal with Indianapolis. Although it was suspected that Frank would join the Eagles in order to replace LaShawn McCoy, he took a different road and joined Indy, who had a star in Andrew Luck and were coming off of an AFC Championship appearance that ended pretty awfully as the team lost 45-7 to the Patriots. But even though Indianapolis got destroyed, Frank believed that he could help the team win the Super Bowl with his previous experience. And although Frank had been successful with San Francisco, 2015 was the start of his decline and was only his third season under 1,000 yards as he ran for just over 950 yards and wasn't able to produce nearly as well as he had previously. Following such a great season for Indy in 2014, the Colts underperformed in 2015 as they went only 8-8. Although 2015 was disappointing for Indianapolis, there were high hopes. But although Frank was able to rush for over 1,000 yards, the team wasn't able to improve much and went 8-8 once again. And although it was a tough year for Indy, Frank was able to move up the list to become the 8th leading rusher in NFL history. Following 2 underwhelming years in 2015 and 16, there was still hope in Indy, but that hope was killed immediately as Andrew Luck suffered a shoulder injury and missed the entire 2017 season. And as a result, the Colts went 4-12, and although Frank had over 950 yards once again, after 3 years in Indy, Frank's time was done. Following 13 seasons in the league, and as the 5th leading rusher in NFL history, it seemed like the end of the ride for Frank as the Colts released him. And although people thought he was done, Frank signed a 1-year deal with the Dolphins and wasn't looking back. Although Frank was coming off of a season with over 950 yards in Indy, he had to share a backfield with Kenyon Drake and rookie Kalen Ballage. And as a result, he only was able to rush for just over 700 yards, and for the first time in his career, he did not have a single rushing touchdown. Yet again, it seemed like Frank's career was over, but he was not done and signed a deal with Buffalo, as yet again he shared a backfield with yet another rookie in Devin Singletary. But even though he was sharing a backfield, he was still able to produce and had nearly 600 yards as he passed Barry Sanders to become the 3rd leading rusher in NFL history. Once again, there was speculation that Frank's time in the NFL was over, but he decided to lace them up once again and signed a 1-year deal with the 3rd straight AFC East team in the Jets. Although 2020 was an extremely tough year for the Jets, Frank was able to rush for over 650 yards as a 37-year-old. Now we are at the present, and Frank has been playing for so long that his son, Frank Gore Jr., is a freshman at Southern Mississippi, and it's becoming more and more possible that the two could play in the NFL at the same time, which would just be absolutely insane. But no matter when Frank retires, he's the 3rd leading rusher in NFL history and has 5 Pro Bowl appearances, so it seems like there's a place in canon for the workhorse.
Running play to Gore. Frank Gore bouncing off of contact and still going!
Thanks for watching my first NFL Mysteries video, and comment down below what you think is next for the legend and Frank Gore. But anyway, see you guys soon and peace out.